Good morning, everybody. It is 7 o'clock. You're very welcome to join us wherever you're watching us around the world this morning. A new day has dawned. But it feels like we're waking up to a very similar tone. Warnings from world leaders to Russia not to invade Ukraine. And another day of diplomacy planned. But will it be enough to bring the situation back from the brink? With the West fearing an attack could be imminent. We'll ask the Foreign Secretary Liz Truss shortly, as well as the former head of the British Army, General Lord Dannatt. It is Tuesday, the 15th of February. We love that. How sassy is she? A very good morning to you. There is still a crucial window for diplomacy. That was the message from Boris Johnson and Joe Biden last night, as they said there was still time for Vladimir Putin to step back from impending war in Ukraine. But today, the German Chancellor will travel to Moscow to meet the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Olaf Scholz says there are no sensible reasons for the build-up of more than 130,000 troops on Ukraine's borders. Let's take a look at the key points you're waking up to this morning. Well, Diana standing by for us in Moscow this morning. Hello to you, Diana. It feels a little bit like Groundhog Day. How close are we to stepping back or indeed to stepping further forward? That the Foreign Secretary Liz Truss is with us. I know you're incredibly busy, so we really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you. Quick thoughts on things like the fact that we've heard words like imminent and likely regarding an invasion. Where are we this Tuesday morning as far as you're concerned?
Well, it's still the case that an invasion citizens to leave Ukraine, and we're doing all we can to support the Ukrainian economy.
We talked, or rather we heard Boris Johnson and President Biden a 40-minute chat yesterday on the phone talking about a crucial window. What do they mean by that?
Well, we know...
Kiev.
Well, we think an attack could be imminent. Of course, as I've said, the Ukrainians will fight back. So this could lead to a very protracted conflict, which would be hugely damaging for Russia. But in terms of this,
Foreign Secretary, my question is, how quickly do we think that they could move down to Kiev if they did indeed invade? Or
very quickly. They east, and what we also suspect is there could be a false flag operation. That there could be false claims that they have been provoked. A few days is there could be an attempt of a false flag operation to create a pretext to claim the Ukrainians are attacking them. They've been very clear that they have these demands, such as Ukraine never being able to join NATO, such as moving...
Is that NATO promised that it wouldn't move any further east when we saw the breakup of the Soviet Union.
There was no agreement of that sort, Kay. There is no agreement of that sort. Last week, Lavrov being incredibly rude, saying it was a conversation between a dumb and a deaf person. It seems like we live... Well, I made it very clear to Minister Lavrov, and I was also delivering a message to the Russian people, that if there was an invasion into Ukraine, there would be severe costs.
But this is not about me. You know, there are threats to too many politicians, particularly women, actually.
Should the Prime Minister reconsider and just say sorry? The prices have hit a new record high with the ongoing tensions in Ukraine, partly to blame. Let's find out more, should we? Milena standing by for us in West London at a petrol station. Those prices are rocketing, aren't they, Milena? Good morning.
Yeah, morning, Kate. We've got...
Human. Thanks very much, Paul. Thank you. I played the guitar, do you know? Let's look at some of today's other headlines for you. From an ongoing legal battle between the footballers' wives over an online post. Mrs Rooney had wanted to bring an additional claim against Ms Watt for misuse of private information. But it's a bit like that. This is the Taj Mahal, but not as you know it. Made entirely out of snow. It stands at just 4.9 metres high, 14 times smaller than the original. 4 sculptors took only 17 days to complete it, and just like its counterpart, it's proving very popular with tourists in Gulmarg. I was going to be able to say to you, compared to how long it took to build the original one, but I don't know how long it took to the original one. So what I'm going to do instead is tell you about the weather. Britain's oldest zoo is due to permanently close this autumn. Bristol Zoo Gardens, which has existed for 186 years, will shut its doors in September, meaning all animals are set to move to a new home. The Wild Place project in South Gloucestershire. Zoo closing after declining attendance was made worse by the pandemic. Parts of the site will become housing, but the gardens will remain open to the public. If you are as old as I am and you remember Animal Magic on the telly, based on that. Now, have a look at this. How did you spend your Valentine's Day? Well, these doggies in Peruvian capital of Lima celebrated the day in style by getting hitched, all part of a local competition. Dog owners dressed up their four-legged friends as if they were about to get married. They were walking down the aisle, then helped to sign their inked paws into a piece of paper. Just pause for thought. I'm here all week, try the veal. Coming up after the break, former British ambassador to Russia, Sir Andrew Wood, gives his perspective to the ongoing tensions between Russia and Ukraine. Europe, that's the message from the government this morning, as they say there's only a short window for diplomacy to de-escalate tensions in Ukraine. Earlier, the Foreign Secretary told us she hoped Putin would step back from putting more Russian troops on the border. How quickly do we think that they could move down to Kiev if they did indeed invade? Or
OK, at that 3 p.m-ish news conference.
At 9 o'clock, your take at 9 o'clock. Looking forward to that. Thanks very much indeed. Meantime, let's get more joined by Sir Andrew Wood, who served as the UK's ambassador to...
You don't mass troops around people's borders without...
And his Foreign Secretary. It's certainly interesting. We know that the German leader is there again today to talk to President Putin. But when our Foreign Secretary went, she was basically humiliated by Lavrov. What was all that about? To the energy crisis we're facing. What kind of future does it have? Let's talk about it. Should we? Joining us is Dale Vince, the founder of green energy supplier been. Tell me what it's like. See you at the top of the hour. What on earth is happening in Ukraine?